tin sheet roofing's arrived, so that's going to be today's job. Before I start, I've actually run into a little bit of a problem. I don't know if you can see that joint just here. You can see daylight through it. We've had a really dry spell here for the past sort of 2 or 3 weeks. It's not rained, so everything has, all the boards have contracted, which is why I left the expansion gap so that they could expand and contract. But obviously this one, the board was maybe a bit warped or something, so I'm going to have to try and deal with that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch the nails in from the other side and then adjust the boards and put some new nails in. So I'll just find the board that's a problem, I'll find where the nails are, and I'm just going to use a chunky nail to tap the nails through the boards, which will leave it loose to adjust. As I say, I just knocked the nails through from the other side, which allowed made the board loose so that I could adjust it. And I've just wiggled the boards around until the gap's gone, and I'm pretty happy that it's okay now. Right, I've got my first roofing panel tacked in place, and I'm just working along from left to right. So my overlap's going to be, the ones on the right will overlap the ones on the left, and that's just because of the direction of the prevailing wind. I've had to cut the first panel down, and I'll also have to cut the last panel down as well on that end, just to make sure that the ridges are in the right place for the flashing. So I'll work my way along and we'll see how it goes. I've got the first row of boards on now across the front, and obviously, as I say, I've cut the one on the left and the one on the right just to make it fit properly for the fascias, for the flashing when that goes on. And it's attached with a row of screws at the front, just these little self-tapping screws. I've put them on each low point at the front, and then the same at the top. And then I've stitched it together on the rises between each board using these slightly longer screws, and I've just put one stitch on each join in the middle. You can let me know in the comments if you think I've put too many or too few screws in. I'm not 100% sure. I've just sort of had a look online, and that was kind of a middle ground of what people were recommending, really. I should have also mentioned I've put this front fascia piece on this piece of 6x2 board across the top there, and that's going to be what the gutter attaches to, so I'm going to put one of those on the back now as well. I don't know if you can just about see this piece of foam that's hanging down at the side here. It's got the same profile as the boarding. I think they call that eave filler, so that's just going in under the front edge and the back edge, just to stop insects and birds and stuff sort of going up through the rises. I just thought I'd give you a quick view from above as well. So as I say, this is just the front edge that's been done, and this is the row of screws along the back, and as I say, there's a row of screws you may or may not be able to see in the sunlight down at the front there, and then in the middle these are the stitching screws, one there, and so on. I took a lot of care when I was building the cabin to keep everything as straight and square as possible, so that's really helped me out when I've been doing the roof. As you can see, I've got a nice straight line along the apex here with the top of the roofing sheets, and then I've got a uniform 2-inch overlap at the front, obviously above where the gutter's going to go. I've finished putting all the roofing sheets on now, and I've just started putting the flashing on. I've got my flashing on at both sides now, and I'm just putting the eave filler, I think it's called, along the top. So I've just been using that mastic to stick it down, and once all that's stuck down, it'll just be a case of putting the topping piece on the apex and screwing that down. So that's the roof finished now. The top piece is on the apex, and it's on to the next stage, which I think will be the insulation. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and please hit the subscribe button and stay posted for the rest of the build. Thanks very much for watching.